You are never alone. You are never alone. Just reach into your heart and Allah is always there. You are never alone. You are never alone. Through sorrow and through grief, through happiness and peace, you are never alone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new episode of Family Issues. In this episode we'll be talking about family alignment, how we can make sure that husband and wife, father and mother are going in the same direction. Yes, usually they have the same goals, but it is more often than not that they go in opposite paths, although they want to achieve the same goal, the best for their children, the best for themselves. So we will be discussing here how we can make sure that the alignment is right, and how we can make sure that they are moving in the same direction, not necessarily with the same speed, but in the same direction. And also with a focus on intention-based action, because the intentions are always good. Usually the husband and wife, the father and mother have the same intentions. Again, they want the best for themselves, for their children, and for the future of this family. But in many cases, good intentions are not enough. So we will be tackling here with our special guests how we can make sure that good intentions are translated into actions that move in the same direction. So what are the most important findings about marriage? What are the skills needed to handle family issues? All of this will be discussed here, inshallah, in the upcoming 45 minutes or so. Again, our goal here in the program is to make sure that our families serve society, serve Islam. Our families will be righteous families that help in the building of a righteous society, adhering to the directives of our great religion. Islam did come to illuminate the lives of people with the light of virtues and good manners, to create righteous, God-loving and God-fearing people. It develops its believers, the Muslims, with the best of characters, and fills their hearts with much devotion to the one true God, Allah. It inspires the believers with Allah's guidance and rewards to those who do righteous deeds and show devotion to Him. Muslims who know Islam believe in what Allah the Exalted says in the Holy Quran on the virtues and rewards of righteousness. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا إن الله مع المحسنين. As for those who strive hard in us, we will surely guide them to our paths, and verily Allah is with the good doers. Dear brothers and sisters, don't forget to call us on the phone numbers that will be appearing on the screen if you have any question for our special guests here in the program, or any comments about the program. And don't forget to keep your emails coming at familyissues@huda.tv. Again, familyissues@huda.tv is our email address. We have received a number of your mails, and we will be, inshallah, responding to them here in this episode and in the upcoming ones, inshallah. Please do keep them going. They are always useful to us, and hopefully they will be useful to you as well, dear brothers and sisters. Time now to take a short break, and when we come back, we will be talking family alignments, how we can make sure that father and mother, husband and wife, are indeed going in the same direction. Yes, they do have the same goals, the same noble intentions, but we want to make sure that they are moving in the same direction. Do stay with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Never alone. You are never alone.
Ask Huda.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to a new edition of Ask Huda.
I have two questions.
Go ahead. You can read it in Arabic, and you can also understand the meaning in your own language. the different tafsir and the interpretation of the meanings of the Quran are available in almost every language that exists on earth by the grace of Allah. The water of Zamzam is for whatever intention you drink it with. Salih from Egypt, his father has the way, and he asked about how can he help him. Very good question.
Can we give a zakat to any of the Dawa centers?
The ibadah or the act of worship is a part of the unity of worship. It has to be paid to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in accordance with the guidance of his Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind. So the ummah or the people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam are all mankind since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Time now to introduce you to our dear guest. He is Mr. Islam Omar, relationship coach. Mr. Islam, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for being here.
Alaikum salam.
Jazakumullah khairan. Mr. Islam, first of all, could you tell us what is really meant by family alignment, the concept of family alignment?
Okay, let's start first with defining the word alignment. The word alignment means moving parts into proper position from and for each other. And having said that, so we have here two things, parts and proper. And when taking this definition to the family, so the proper position of each partners in the family are very important to each other. And when we are saying proper, meaning that the outcome of such movement and such positioning will help both partners to improve the relationship, to improve the family, to improve helping their kids and building their future.
Right. That's as far as the word alignment is concerned. The concept itself within the family, what does it engulf?
Okay, the family alignment meaning that what are the actions and the thoughts the two partners need to do to make sure that they are moving in the same direction, and they are really moving in the same direction of their objectives and their partnership. Sometimes you have the right intention, sometimes you are intending to move and building up your family. However, without the alignment, you are losing and you are not moving really in the same direction as you started the relationship with. And the matter of fact, you are moving outside that scope. You are moving against that scope. Alignment is different from harmony.
Yes.
Alignment is different from agreeing. Sometimes with your partner, you disagree with each other. However, disagreeing with each other does not mean that you are not moving in the same direction. Let me give you an example. If a man and woman, they are married with each other, and they are happily married, and for a reason or another, they decided to get a divorce. Once they are divorced, they still should care about the well-being of their children. Although both of them are moving into different directions, but they are sharing another person's life, which are their kids. And when they are sharing that, they need to make sure that they are moving in the same direction for the development of their children.
Right. Now, you said that, and you've made it clear that alignment or moving in the same direction doesn't necessarily mean harmony. Now, what happens is, practically, is that when the partners find themselves not in harmony, fights start to erupt.
Exactly.
So what would you advise in that case? I mean,
I'm glad that you used the word fights. Let me share with you the latest research findings about that. It's done by Dr. John Gottman, and he made a very wonderful work regarding the family issues. And in his latest research, he indicated that 69% of the problem in the marriage are perpetual. Meaning they are going to stay in the relationship regardless whatever the two partners are doing. And keeping that in mind, so when we are approaching such kind of problems, the objective is not to change them or fix them. The objective is to manage them and align each other to work with such problems. And when it comes to working with fights, the same word that you used, we have to make sure that each one of us, each one of the partners, has what we call it the emotional bank. And each partner has to deposit in this bank. When needed, you can withdraw from it. What makes it difficult is that the partners are not depositing in each other emotional bank. So when fights are there is nothing the partner can stay on or can use to compensate for the problem or the mistakes he does. So depositing in each person emotional bank is very important. And he actually, Dr. John Gottman, put his hand on a ratio for that. He said that to get the marriage working, you need 5 positive interaction to each negative interaction. So the ratio is 5 to 1. So let's say that a man and wife are fighting today. So both of them has to keep in mind that both of them has to deposit 5 good deeds in the other partner emotional bank. Otherwise, the relationship will be dehydrated and the relationship will go out of sync.
That's a very harsh ratio, though. I mean, very rarely would you find partners, depositing 5 good deeds in their partner's bank or emotional bank for every negative action.
And that's exactly why we are having this increasing rate of divorce. Let me share with you the latest divorce in Egypt as an example before the revolution. It's 1 divorce rate every 5 minutes. You have 47% of the divorce rate happening in the first year of marriage. All of those things are related to mainly that we are not depositing in the each other bank.
Right. So you also mentioned that the intentions are usually, you said most of the time that there are good intentions. So why is it a fact that despite the presence of these good intentions, we don't move, partners don't move in the same direction most of the time?
Okay, that's related to the lack of skills. There's an important skill that's needed to get the partners moving forward, and it's called the alignment skills. And alignment skills itself consists of multiple small skills that are important for both of them to move forward. Let me share with you one of them. Yes. One of them is putting the issue forward. Not instead of putting the issue between us as we are fighting over it, we need to put it in front of us so we both can align working towards such issue and how to fix it. Let me give an example. Let us say that 2 partners, a man and his wife, are fighting over which school that they should send their kid to. If we are putting the problem of which school between us, we are fighting. However, if we change the question, if you align with the intention of finding the right path for our kid, the dynamics, the energy of the relationship changes. Once the energy changes, we both are no longer fighting each other. We are working with each other to the benefit of our child.
Right. So let's give other examples to our viewers, if you will, Mr. Islam. Let me ask you this. I mean, the father and mother, of course, want to see their kids excel academically at school. Now, they might differ on the best ways for their children to prepare for exams, for instance. You might find one of the partners, stressing on the need to and pressuring the kids to study a lot. The other partner would probably be, might be, in a more of a relaxing mood and wants to give the kids a chance also to enjoy their life away from school. They both have the good intentions. They both want to see their kids excel in school, but they see differently. So how do we make an alignment here?
Okay, let me first start with that the kids are not subject of our needs. Kids are subject to their developments. Let me give an example before I go directly to answer your question. Let us say that I'm a husband and most of my time I'm not at home. So I feel a little bit guilty of not taking care of my child, and I would like to take care and care about his well-being. So I will insist and pressure him to study more. This is not for the sake of the kid. It's more toward myself, my feeling of guilt. So first of all, we should be dealing with kids for their own sake, not to compensate for our lack of actions.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's answer the question directly now. Once you have this kind of arguments or this kind of change in perception about what is the best thing for the child, the partner should be asking themselves, what is the objective of the thing that we want the child to do? What is the objective of increasing the stress over study? Is it for him to get successful or not? If it's yes, of course, we want him to get successful. So the question now is, what is the best way of doing this? Is it necessary it has to be done through the hard way or the smart way? And we have a man and his wife, they have to have this kind of discussion before they start to translate it to the child. One of the things that actually have a negative impact on families is that when partners, the husband and the wife, have a fight over something in front of their child. This does not build up a healthy child. So first of all, the partners should sit together and ask themselves the question, what do we want for our child to succeed in his school? And then we have to come up with the specific points. We have also to come up with the specific pathways. And then we need to sit down and discuss it with our child. Sometimes we have the mistake that since the child is a child, he has no way of thinking for himself. And this is a very big mistake. We have to ask him. We have to share with him what we have in mind, what our intention for him. And then we listen to him. We give attention and listen to him. If he does not want to study, we need to understand why. We have to ask him. Sometimes he does not want to study because some other areas in his life are not fulfilled. So regardless of pressure we are going to put on him, we cannot get him to study, really study, without helping him fulfill the other parts in his life.
Right. Again, suppose if this is concerned to prayer. Again, the father and the mother want to see their kids praying and performing the prayers in time, especially if they have passed the age of 10 and then the age of 13 maybe. But the kids are maybe naturally they want to play. Even when it's prayer time. So one of the two partners uses the screams and gives orders and threats, but the other prefers the gentle way. I mean, they don't necessarily contradict. I mean, maybe it's good to have both ways of trying to convince the child to do prayer, but again, here they have the same intention, but they are not. Maybe they are, and maybe they are not. They aren't moving in the same path.
Okay, let us remember with each other what Allah Ta'ala said about the Prophet ﷺ. لو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك.
Right.
So if this is about the da'wah and spreading the word of Islam, it's more important also to be used with their children. So if we have two choices between being aggressive and being stiff and being relaxed and being nice, we would definitely go with the second part. However, being nice is something different of being lenient, and something different from being too nice. Nice meaning that you are expressing what you want in the right words to achieve the objective, not to give an escape from the objective for the child. Going back to the subject of the prayer, the two partners has to raise the importance of the prayer in their child, not to punish him for that. I believe late Sheikh Muhammad Ghazali once said, why we are going to Allah while we are feeling punished instead of flying to Him with a feeling of pleasure. And this is what the two partners need to do, need to raise in their child.
Again, and if they take different approaches, does this necessarily mean that they are not going in the same path?
They have the same objective, but they are not, most probably they are not aligned. They need to sit with each other and have this kind of discussion. Screaming in front of the kids will not work, usually not work. What do you resist? Persist. If you keep screaming, the child will take it as a sign of weakness. And sometimes children will use this kind of weakness to pressure on you.
Yes,
so it's a self-fulfilling cycle.
And exploit.
Exactly.
And what if the issue concerns the manners? I mean, children's manners. Again, you have I'm not going to say lenience, but you have a gentle partner who's taking it the easy way, and then you have a tough partner. Usually the male is taking the role, usually, of being the tough guy, and the mother is more gentle. Again, does that necessarily mean that they are not aligned?
Okay, there is a very important skill in the alignment or family alignment. It's called the DPA, or Design Partnership Agreement. Both partners has to design an agreement with each other about how to deal with the issues. So we have, as a man and wife, husband and wife, father and mother, to design an agreement with each other about how they are going to deal with the child regarding the manners. Both of them have to agree on that beforehand, before they go and talk with the child. And this will take us back to what's called intention-based action versus reaction. Let us say that both partners have agreed it's important for the child not to raise his voice. And the child starts raising his voice. Now, the reaction of both partners might be harsh, aggressive, one harsh, one lenient, one harsh, one nice. If we have designed the partnership agreement between the man and the wife, the man and his wife, they have agreed how to tackle such issues. So again, having a good intentions without a plan, without an agreement between the both partners is usually not enough.
Okay, let's go back to the skills we need to develop to handle family issues. Could you talk to us about some of these skills we all need to
Actually, we spoke about both of them right now.
Yes.
The design partnership agreement,
yes.
And we added, and before that we spoke about putting the issue up front. Also, another important skill is to understand what is the dream behind the complaint. What is the relationship myth? And here when I use the word myth, I don't mean the meaning of a myth as untrue or false or a lie. I usually use the word myth referring back to Joseph Campbell when he meant by the myth, the story behind the issue. So if we're having a fight right now, what is the story behind it? Why we are really fighting? Sometimes we fight because we are not fulfilling the main objective of the interaction. So when we put our hand on this thing, we move forward. One of the skills also is we ask ourselves, are we willing really to work with each other regarding this issue? Or we are going to let it slip and build a pattern between each other?
Okay. One of the things we promise our viewers we'll be talking about is the most important findings about marriage. Now, other than the problem, you mentioned that 69% of the
problems are perpetual.
Of the problems are perpetual. What more findings can you tell us?
Okay, one important finding is also, the credit for that goes back to Dr. John Gottman, is that while the time of the conflict, the partners should refrain from using or engaging in other negative interactions. Let me give an example. Let us say that a man and his wife are fighting, or they have a conflict between each other. And then the man also find out that his wife did not prepare his preferred meal, that he asked her to do so. This is not the right time to bring it up. If you bring it up at the time, the complication will increase, and you'll find out that both partners are going in a very bad direction. Both of them did not intend it to go that way.
Okay. Let's remind our viewers, Mr. Islam, that we are ready to receive your phone calls, dear brothers and sisters, if you have any question for us here for Mr. Islam. And let's remind them also of our email, which is familyissues@huda.tv. The phone numbers should be there on the screen for you. We'll be waiting for your calls. And as we also await more emails at our address, familyissues@huda.tv, let's try to answer some of your mails. There is a mail from Zara Bello, which says, Assalamu alaikum, how can a wife do with a husband who does not show appreciation to anything she does, to an extent that she feeds the family for over a month from her own pockets? He doesn't even care to ask how she is even raising the money. So can she demand that he pays her what she has spent? This is from Zara Bello.
Okay. I think this is 2 or 3 questions that's in the same email. The first one, it's about the appreciation. And the second one is if why he's taking such an action of not caring how she's getting the money. And the third part is about
can she demand that she gets repaid for feeding the family?
Let me start first one with the appreciation part. With the appreciation part, this means that he's not appreciating her or her action. It usually means that he's taking her for granted. And this is a very important issue between both partners. Both partners should not take the other person for granted. Relationships, families require actions, require focusing, require investing times and effort in building the relationship and building the family. So if he's not appreciating what she's doing, the question is, how can she have with him a discussion to understand why? She has to sit down and she has to start designing the partnership with him to tackle the issue about the appreciation. We spoke previously about having a partnership alliance about the kids. Now it's more important to talk about themselves, to talk about why he's not appreciating her. It's a very important question. If she appreciates him, why he's not appreciating her? And I would suggest for her to start applying a law that's called the reciprocality law, that she start first appreciating one thing about what she's doing. When she sends him those signals that she appreciates him, it's a very subtle and very nice way to start letting him feel that he'd like and he have to do something in return.
Right. The second point was about he doesn't appreciate what she does to an extent that she feeds the family
for a month
from her own pocket, and he doesn't even ask her from where she's raising the money.
Okay, this might be a sign of deep depression, or a sign of that he's getting involved with himself. He might be having issues. Again, when she starts to appreciate what she's doing, this might be a good signal for him to start to open up. I would suggest also for her, for the second part, that she start to put a list and provide it to him, and ask him, this is how much money did I pay? Why didn't you ask me? And please, 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 when you go and ask a guy and ask your husband about why he didn't ask you, don't try to do your best not to put it in a way that's blaming. Also, Dr. Gottman mentioned that there are 4 horsemen that destroy any marriage. One of them is blame. So if you start the conversation with blaming the other partner about something that he should or shouldn't do, guess what? He will keep doing what you are blaming him for. He will keep feeling that you are attacking him. We don't want attack and defenses in our relationship. Marriage relationship is built on peace, harmony, built on alignment, based on وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So it's important to think about the second, more than important to think about blaming, attacking, defending who's right and who's wrong.
Right. And finally, before we take a break, can she demand that he pays her what she has spent? Would you advise this? We know it's her right.
Exactly.
But would you advise it?
Well, if she would like to get her money back, that's her absolutely right, as we mentioned. However, I would put more effort first on the appreciation.
Okay. Allow us, dear brothers and sisters, to continue our discussion here on family issues about family alignments with personal coach Mr. Islam Omar after we take this short break. Again, we're still waiting for your calls, and we'll be answering some of your mails as well in the upcoming segment, inshallah. Stay with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Never alone, you are never alone.
Are you up to date with the latest gadgets and devices? Or do you get confused when someone even mentions the word computer? Conquer your fear and learn how to get the best out of the latest computer software, smartphones, and the latest cutting-edge technology by tuning into Tech Talk with Dr. Baha. All of this and more in Tech Talk, only on Hoda TV. The Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, narrated that when Allah, glory be to him, wishes good for someone, he bestows upon him understanding of the religion, and that Allah makes the path to paradise easy for those who seek knowledge. Preoccupied by work or family in the modern world, a Muslim may struggle to find time for acquiring Islamic knowledge. To ease this struggle, we are launching Hoda Academy to be your gateway to online Islamic e-learning.
Enroll now and study from our renowned scholars. Learn Aqidah from Dr. Muhammad Salah.
Learn Fiqh from Dr. Hatim Al-Hajj.
Learn Hadith from Dr. Muhammad Saeed.
Learn Tafsir from Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan.
And learn Arabic from our professional instructors.
Successful graduates of Hoda Academy will go through a final test and eventually receive a certificate of completion.
To enroll and learn more about Hoda Academy, please visit us online at hudaonlineacademy.com.
Hoda Academy, your gateway to authentic Islamic knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Family Issues. Still here with personal coach Mr. Islam Omar. We have a very long mail, Mr. Islam, that we'll be trying to reply to together. But before that, we thank very much Sister Amina Aliyo, who sent us an email saying Jazakumullahu khairan fil Jannah. We say Sister Amina Jazakallahu khairan as well. And this mail we want to reply now to Mr. Islam is sent from a dear brother who says he wants to stay anonymous, so he didn't mention his name. And it's a long story, so bear with us, and it's a bit complicated.
Okay.
Now, he says he's been married for 4 years. He has a son with his wife, currently 5 months pregnant. Now, his wife is 9 years older than him, and he lives with his father-in-law. So he lives with his wife in the house of his father-in-law. He says now that his wife has a twin sister who, he says, along with his wife, controls his life. And even when he goes out or comes home, there is always interference. He also mentions that he moved into his father's in-law's home because of financial problems. He also says he used to work for his wife's family, but the business is not working well. He says he has advised them many times that there are better ways to manage their business. But they don't listen to his advices. And he also mentions that his wife, her twin, and her father have cut themselves off from the older male, their older brother, or the older male of his father-in-law. He says that jealousy is in his wife's heart, and he wants to leave this family But again, he has a son, and his wife is 5 months pregnant. So he's asking for advice. He's asking, is it okay if I divorce her and leave her father's house? He's also asking, how does he go about divorcing his 5 months pregnant wife in the proper way so that this would not be offensive?
Okay, so let me start first with the final question about the divorce. When it comes to the right religious way of divorce, I think he need to ask a very profound teacher and scholar about that. However, let's start and answer the part that related to the relationship coaching. I would like to give the example of the Lego game. You know, the Lego game where kids are playing with, when they start to put things over each other to have a specific shape or specific motto, or the building blocks. What's happening here, he had building blocks built above each other, that he put business with personal relationship, put business and family. And because of the financial reasons, he has found himself being pushed and motivated to move in one direction. Working with such a situation is not an easy matter. So he has to understand that those things, working on those issues takes time. Okay. First of all, what he needs to understand and he needs to do is he needs to understand what we call it the family constellation. He's working in a specific constellation where several factors affecting his relationship. He mentioned that his father-in-law and his wife and the twin sister of his wife. And of course the departed older brother of his wife. This is a constellation system that's not working in his advantage. So the first thing he needs to do, and I would not advise him of getting divorced right now. So what he needs to do is he needs to rebuild the family constellation from a different direction. First of all, he needs to be able to disassociate those blocks and rebuild them on a proper way. So first of all, he has to separate between the business and the family. So if he's not working, I would suggest in other place other than his wife's family, I would totally suggest that he start finding another work. This is the first step, to be financially independent and take one part of the wrongly placed blocks. Second part he need to understand and he to take care of is he need to redesign the agreement with his wife. Being pushy, being intrusive in his life is not something that will make him take the right decision. Even if this require him at a specific time to start finding a different place to live on. Even if it's a cheap place, even if it's a place that does not fit with his current lifestyle. But again, we are doing this to dismantle and disassociate the wrong blocking system that he has built. Third thing is he has to understand and remember that jealousy is a sign of insecurity. So he has to give and provide security for his wife in a way that does not demeanor himself, in a way that does not make his wife take those signs of making her feel secure as he's weak, because it doesn't work. She will not believe it. So those are the three starting things that he needs to work with. So first of all, find a different job. Second, try to find a place where you live in and invite your wife to live with you in that place. With the new economical status that you're in. And third part is keep feeding the security feeling in your wife. Remember, jealousy equal feeling of insecurity.
Right. Jazakumullah khairan. Mr. Islam. Back to the, we hope this answers your question, dear anonymous brother, as you prefer to stay. Mr. Islam, back to the topic, our main topic, the family alignment. In the personal relationship now between husband and wife, away from the children, how do we make sure that, again, we are moving in the same direction, in the same path? Many times you'd find that partners who love each other don't express this love often enough, or maybe don't know how to, or have different means of expressing it. So the feeling of insecurity touches one of the partners, or the feeling of misalignment comes although they both love each other and want to move in the same direction, but many things happen that force them to go in opposite ways. So what would you what would be your advice regarding alignment concerning the special relationship away from the children?
Okay. When it comes to the special relationship between a man and his wife, both of them actually should understand that there are two factors that affecting their way of expressing their feelings to each other. Positive factors and negative factors. The positive factors is, as you mentioned clearly actually, is do both of them know how to express feelings? Do both of them know how to express love? What is the meaning of expressing love to each other? And this is again, they have to go back and learn and teach each other about how they can express that. Females,
Mr. Islam, sorry to interrupt, can we proceed with your answer after we get this call?
Sure.
We have with us Brother Abdullah from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Abdullah. Thank you for calling us, and go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you for this program. I have just one question. It's about the attitude of the partners in front of their children. Like
Yes.
there are a lot of fights and quarrels between each other in front of the children. How does this influence the children?
Okay, Brother Abdullah. Any other question?
No, Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you.
Thank you, and Jazakumullah khairan, Brother Abdullah. Mr. Islam, let's first answer Brother Abdullah's question.
Sure, just make sure that I understood correctly.
Yes.
So he's asking about that. What if his partner is screaming in front of the children?
Right.
It's the attitude
fights,
of doing this.
fights in front of the children. How would this influence the children?
Okay.
Negatively, of course.
Of course, the negative effect of that, it will build up what we call it fear in the children. The child, either male or female, will feel that his father and mother are fighting with each other. This will make him feel insecure, and he will be detached from expressing the feelings for both of them or one of them. And the feeling of insecurity that is being raised up in the child will really affect his self-esteem and the way that he expresses himself with his friends, with his peers, even when he's growing up. So children that are growing in troubled families are being known to have a lot of low self-confidence, are getting engaged in a lot of non-healthy attitudes, like taking drugs or moving into the wrong directions. So how can we deal with that? Again, for the husband and the wife, they have to tackle the issue, any issues between each other, away from the children. Again, let's go back to the design partnership agreement. If we agree that when we have a fight or we have a disagreement in the front of the child, there should be a cap, there should be a maximum. Let's make sure that this maximum may be 2 minutes or 1 minute. Maybe let's have a sign between each other. I will give you a sign that I will rub my nose or rub my ears. So both of them should have the same sign with each other to stop talking, to stop fighting, stop arguing in the front of the child, and they go and tackle it elsewhere. Again, if she or he is not doing that because of the feeling of anger or feeling of being pressured, this will take us to another skill that's important in the family alignment. And this skill is called the ventilation. It has been found out if both partners or one of them is not venting out his feelings, we mean here by feeling negative feelings, in the proper channel, it will be expressed in the negative way or negative channels. So if the wife is not venting out her negativity with her partner or with her husband away of the child, she will express it in front of the child. Moreover, if she cannot express it verbally, she will take it into violence against the child.
All right. Mr. Islam, as we have a couple of minutes left now, only
Sure.
2 minutes, can we go back to my question about alignments in the special relationship between husband and wife away from the kids?
Okay, they have to express their feelings toward each other. If they don't know how, they need to teach each other. This is again back to the positive things. Again, we call it a repair pit. We need to increase putting and investing in the emotional bank of your partner. If you are not doing it, negative factors affecting your relationship will destroy the special part, the romantic part, the special relationship between a man and his wife. when they are expressing their true feeling to each other, if they are not really knowing how to communicate that, this is the first thing they need to work on. Just talk, just express. I don't know how to do that. I want you to do that. Express it. Have a specific method of exchanging that. It has been told that before, that when a man and his wife do a special time with each other, if they look at each other and they know what each other wants, this is a sign of perfect communication.
All right. On that note, we thank you very much, Mr. Islam Omar, personal coach. It's been a great pleasure having you with us here. Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you for being here with us on Family Issues. Dear brothers and sisters, thank you for watching us. Please do keep your emails going at familyissues@huda.tv. Our next date is same time next week, inshallah. Until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Never alone, you are never alone. Through sorrow and through grief, through happiness and peace, you are never alone. So now, as you long for your past, prepare for your future, but knowing nothing's gonna last. You see, this life is but a road, a straight and narrow path to our final abode. So travel well, O Muslim, and paradise will be your home. And always remember that you are never alone.